Good afternoon! This is the Nephite Menorah, 4 mana value, legendary artifact, rare, prophesy, and it does that weird thing I was talking about earlier. Play a white token named Spirit Link. And this time I came prepared because what happened last time. Go to here. Oh, that's there. This is Spirit Link. So this is the text of Spirit Link. And the reason I do it this way, play a white token named Spirit Link, is to save on room. So this is a one-line text, and now I have lots of room for the scripture. Go back to here. This is one of my favorites, but if you don't know what it does, it's an old Magic the Gathering card. This is a weird way to word it. Enchant creature. For every point of damage target creature does, you gain 1 life. And this is interesting because you could play it on an enemy creature. Right here it looks like it's their Pokemon. Go Batcat. This would be a pretty cool looking Pokemon actually. But you could play this on an enemy creature, and then if they attack or block, all their damage is negated. Their blocking damage wouldn't be negated actually. If they block, they'll still hurt whoever they're blocking, and then you'll gain life per the damage they're doing. If they attack, you could just let them go through and not block it, and it'll just be a wipe. Like they'll deal damage and you'll gain damage or gain life. So in this version, the Nephite Menorah, if a prophecy is played, it'll activate this prophesy. And then you could play one of these for free. Dun, dun, dun. So here we go. I'll be reviewing this later on in this episode. So here's a prophecy. So you play this sorcery, and then you get a prophecy. And I didn't put the text here, I don't know why. But the reminder text for prophecy is activate all prophesy. So if this is in play, you would then have a chance to play this as a token. And it's cool because you can just say Spirit Link, and it does all this stuff, saves on a lot of room. The negative thing is let's say you get this card and you have no idea what Spirit Link is. You'd have to look it up, and that would kind of suck. So I thought this was a cool mechanic because I have some cards later on that can save on a lot of space, and it casts like stronger cards than this. And I don't know. Like this doesn't say all that much, but that's the idea. You look up this card, you now can play tokens of that card if this is in play, and you activate it by playing a prophecy. I won't go too much in the weeds, that's the idea. If it's frowned upon, I guess I tried. I don't even know if I like it all that much. I think it's pretty cool. The idea again is to save on space for the scriptures, and I can't think of any other way to do that, because if I put all the text in here, then I'd have to cut some stuff out, and I don't want to do that. As the main purpose of the project is to have a scripture card that you could use to memorize the scriptures from. That is the main goal. A secondary goal is to have fun doing scripture memorization. So, and that's basically it. So there's a primary goal to have a reason to have a way to memorize certain scriptures, and the secondary goal is just to have fun while doing that. Not to say that scripture memorization isn't fun by itself, but anyway, let me read this and we can go on to the next one. And he said unto me, Thou rememberest the 12 apostles of the Lamb? Behold, they are they who shall judge the 12 tribes of Israel. Wherefore the 12 ministers of thy seed shall be judged of them, for ye are of the house of Israel. It's kind of strange that Nephi gets this information, because the 12 ministers of thy seed shall judge them. In my last video, I brought up the idea that Nephi could have been seen, his seed, as the Lamanites, because I think that Jacob's line becomes the succeeding king, and Nephi's line doesn't. His children don't become the kings. I think they become like high knights, like they're bodyguards. They said Nephi was a protector and they loved him, and the next king was also called Nephi. Well, who was the next in line to become king? Would it be Nephi's son, or would it be Jacob? Technically, if they followed that line of logic, Jacob would be the next. He was the high priest. He saw Christ. I don't know, like, let's say you got a brother of Nephi who saw Jesus Christ. I mean, I think he's going to be the next king. That said, I don't know. But I also think that Jacob and Joseph's, I don't think that Jacob and Joseph's mom is the same mom as Nephi and Laman and Lemuel's mom. So when he talks about the seed of thy seed, I really wonder, in the vision of the last battle, who were Nephi's seed in that battle, because Jacob and Joseph are his brothers' seed, and they would look like the Nephites. And then Nephi, if Jacob says at the end of his life that he sends missionaries to try to reclaim the Lamanites. Well, we just had our own prophet say not too long ago that if you found your eternal companion on your mission, that's a good thing. So if a Nephite of the line of Nephi went on a mission to serve the Lamanites, who I think were Jaredites during the days of Heth, I think. Well, or something like that. I'd have to go through and look. This is very confusing, but I think the timeline is correct, where the Jaredites are still the strongest nation of the land. So if the Nephi direct seed go and do missionary work to quote-unquote the Lamanites, and they found an eternal companion while they're on their mission, then you don't know when they saw the vision who Nephi's seed was in that battle. Moroni was on the one side, and he fought with Jacob's line. So I don't know. That's just something to think about. The narrative of the scriptures say one thing, but then God, who sees all things, would know what these are his words, so he'll know what he is saying. So that'd be very interesting to find out. We know the Book of Mormon is true, but we know that the narrative is true, but it's also through the lens of men. So the men don't know everything like God knows it. And I don't know, I'm not trying to say like, haha, you don't know anything. I'm one of them. I don't know anything either. No, I know nothing. I'm thinking about these things as options. But the fun thing here is that it's a menorah. It's Nephite. Nephi says he builds a temple after the manner of the Temple of Solomon. This is still happening over across the seas, so they haven't built this stuff yet. But I've watched a few things where the accounts given in 1 Nephi are probably during the days when he is king. So in the days that Nephi is king, he's writing a lot of this stuff. And so he might have these might be Nephite buildings. And in the Nephite building, or in his temple, he might have these carvings. So it's fun to think about that. Alright, now we got here Jaredite Temple. 3 common, 3 skull, creature temple, defender and shroud. Filthy Waters tap. Counter target creature ability. Okay. That's kind of cool. So, in Magic the Gathering, sometimes your creatures have abilities. Let me try to find one. Like this one. It's funny because he's drinking water, but if you use this and it's filthy water, and he's drinking filthy water. So, in that case, you can get rid of the Ward 2 or this, and you just tap it and you counter it. So you could do a block, and then once you block, you can tap it after you do a defensive move, which would be the ideal time to do that. Or if someone has a really powerful move and you want to block it. This is 6 mana for something like that. Yeah, this is cool, but is it good enough? Probably not. Unless you have some kind of mana ramp and get this out fast. And the angel spake unto me, saying, Behold, the fountain of filthy water, which thy father saw, yea, even the river of which he spake, and the depths thereof are the depths of hell. And I depicted this because the Jaredites, I think, are over there at this time. And I took I think I said before, I took an archaeology class. And when I was in college, it was right after my mission. I still thought this was all Nephite. And then you learn that, after the events of the Book of Mormon, they're doing tons of human sacrifices here. Like a ton. And then again, they might have been doing that during the days of the Book of Mormon. I don't think that this was the Nephite building. So I think the Nephites would have been more Celtic wooden structures that would perish. They said the city of Zarahemla burned. I mean, this isn't going to burn, it's stone. Unless they have little huts everywhere. And the next one, Layman and Lemuel. One colorless, one black. I like showing them happy because I like showing them that way. Barbarian Heretic. This is funny. I remember this one. So when I showed this to my brother, and even when I made this, I could just hear their wives are the ones actually saying this, and they are repeating whatever their wives are saying to Nephi. And thou art like unto our father, led away by the foolish imaginations of his heart. Yea, he hath led us out of the land of Jerusalem, and we have wandered in the wilderness for these many years. And our women have toiled, being big with child, and they have borne children in the wilderness, and suffered all things, save it were death. And it would have been better that they have died before they came out of Jerusalem than to have suffered these afflictions. They are definitely repeating their wives. You could quote this and say, daughters of Ishmael who were married to Laman and Lemuel. If so, I can hear a lot of women out there saying good husbands for standing up for them, but they are definitely repeating. This is a repeat. And then that being said, I laugh, and it's unfair for me to laugh because this would have been hard. I would have died. Even if I was faithful. Like, I'm faithful, I'm following you, I probably would have died. So this is crazy. Crazy strong of them to do this. Barbarian, Heretic, rare, no abilities, 2 mana value. So these could be a commander. And when you play them, they are a 4/4 creature. Someone might say that's broken. You might be right. This is a vanilla creature though, so I had fun making that. That was fun for me. So this one. To the Promised Land. 1 colorless, 1 blue. This is the one I showed earlier with Prophecy. Your creatures are 2 less to cast this turn. 2 blue less to cast. So you play this, and then your creatures that you have in your hand are 2 less to cast. That turn only. It's pretty good. We did begin to till the earth, and we began to plant seeds. Yea, we did put all our seeds into the earth, which we had brought from the land of Jerusalem. 1 Nephi 18:24. I appreciate you if you stayed to the end. I apologize if my humor is weird. But thank you for watching.